the good morning text suddenly disappear, is he just busy or is he pulling away? If his ex's name keeps lighting up his phone, should you trust him or trust your gut? And if 6 months go by without a commitment, well, are you being patient or are you just being strung along? Oof, well. Well, today we are putting our dating instincts to the test. Now, both Lauri and I, who's joining me here, have received so many messages from women navigating dating after 50. Now, some of us are just getting back out there after divorce. Some are widowed. Some have been dating for years and are still asking, is this normal? So today, this is going to be fun, you guys. We took some of the most common situations we've heard. We've combined a few details to protect everyone's privacy, of course, and we're going to talk through them together. Now, there's no right or wrong answers here. This is just Lauri and I with very different perspectives. Now, I'm Andrea.
And we want to know what you think, too.
Yes. And so I'm Andrea, host of From Mrs. to Ms. I am still navigating the wild world of dating. And joining me today is my friend, relationship coach, host of Love at Any Age podcast, and co-host with me on Menopause Love Lounge, Lauri Gerber, who is joining me. And she is happily married for like 30 years. So we're going to have a completely different perspective on these situations, I'm thinking. But a little different. Okay, Laura, you ready to solve everyone else's dating problems?
Let's solve everybody's problems. Well, I have to tell our listeners, first of all, I'm going to post this on Love at Any Age, so my people are listening too. But yes. I just have to say, Andrea proposed these scenarios and I was kind of stumped. I was like, wow, you found the hardest questions. These are questions we've maybe attempted to answer a little bit on the podcast already at Love at Any Age, but the way they're framed really made me go, I'm glad I have someone to duke this out with because I don't think I'm going to solve this on my own.
Yeah, well, and I'm excited to learn this because a lot of our listeners are either, single or married, right? Kind of in that different phase. And so I think it's going to be great to hear from both perspectives because you are also thinking from when did you last date? I mean, let's
very long time ago.
Yeah, like you
like to say I'm dating my husband, but it's not the same. It's not the
same. And I've been dating in multiple states over the years.
Yeah.
And so, I'm excited to do this. I think it's going to be very polarizing to see where we're going with this. Or I could be totally wrong. We could be like, yep, and go from there. Right on.
Let's duke it out.
Let's duke it out. All right, here we go. We've got scenario number 1. This is called He's Still Texting, but something feels off. Oh God, this is giving me anxiety.
Yeah.
All right. This is our scenario from our listener said, hi, Andrea and Lauri. I'm 56 years old. I'm divorced after a 28-year marriage. I met someone on a dating app about 2 months ago. And honestly, I haven't been this excited about someone in years. Now, for the first 6 weeks, everything felt effortless. He texted me every morning before work. We talk almost every evening. We went on 6 really great dates. And one of them, he even said, I can see us taking a trip together someday. Mm-hmm. So he introduced me to one of his closest friends. He held my hand in public. I guess that's a point these days. And he even sent me links to concerts he thought we'd enjoy. Then, dun-dun-dun, everything shifted.
Dun-dun-dun.
The good morning text stopped. Now, if I text him, he'll answer, but sometimes 6 or 7 hours later. He hasn't asked me out in almost 3 weeks. Twice I've been the one to suggest getting together, and both times he said he was busy with work but would let me know, and he never did. Last weekend, I finally asked if everything was okay because I felt like something had changed. He told me I was overthinking things and that I'm crazy and that work has been crazy for him. Now, part of me wants to believe him because when we do talk, he's still sweet, but another part feels like I'm slowly being phased out. Do I give him more space? Do I ask him directly if he's losing interest, or do I stop reaching out completely?
Ooh, Lauri, it's such a good one.
It's such a good one.
I feel it's very relatable to so many midlife women.
100%. What does your gut instinct say on that?
The first thing I'm thinking to myself is like, 6 weeks. Did you by any chance start having sex with him? Because oftentimes that is where there's like an accomplishment for the man, and you may then move into the category of, oh, I like to sleep with her, but you might not be a long-term potential. Whereas the woman's like, oh my God, this is all the signs that we're moving towards something serious. And of course, as a dating coach, which is, where I get most of my material since I'm not in the dating pool myself, I want to know all the conversations you didn't have between date 1 and date 7 where you're now like, where do you go?
Yeah.
That's my gut. What's your gut?
Yeah. Well, that's such a great point. I just wanted to address that because it is those conversations that you're afraid to have early on. You're afraid to talk about, you're afraid to push too much or future fake, right? Like you're starting to date on potential. You don't want to do that. And so there probably is a lot of conversations that were not had. We also don't know about the timeline of if they've slept together. That's a big, big piece of this, right? My gut feeling is right aligned with you, actually, Lauri. I think, I feel like there probably was some intimacy going on here, right? 6 dates, probably as adults.
Who knows?
Yeah, we don't know, right? And with that, we do get the guy that all of a sudden is like, I got what I wanted. It's, and maybe we're not as aligned in other things. There was the chemistry there, but not the compatibility, which we talked about.
Or if they weren't having sex, right? If they weren't having sex, the guy could be like, all right, well, I'm not getting anywhere. So let me start to play the field. So either way.
I think that fizzles out a little bit too. So I think that's really, really tough. I would ask you, Lauri, when does busy become an excuse? I mean, is that okay? Like just to say you're busy?
I want to ask you this thing. Actually, I want to ask you a question because you are out there doing the hard work of making case studies. What I've come to understand from a lot of experts about men is that there is a phase in the bonding process where they do go away. They actually have to be more by themselves to really think about and feel about and know if they want to be with you, if they want to commit to you long term. So that there is like, and you tell me if this has been your experience with men, but there's the initial like, could we be a match? Are we into each other? Do we enjoy each other's company? Are we attracted to each other? Maybe we're having sex, maybe we're not. And then there's like, and of course the man is conquesting. He's wanting to win you. He's wanting to do all these things. And it's easy to do that for up to 7 months. It's easy to put on your best, I call it the PR agent, but it's like, it's easy to put your best foot forward for a really long time with having nothing to do with whether or not you're actually a compatible match going forward. But my understanding is that there's a certain phase, and I think a lot of dating coaches explain this as like a hormonal thing even, where there is a pull away. And if you get overly insecure or upset or clingy or needy or controlling during that pull away, he's going to stay away. But if you play it cool and you're fine and you don't need him and it's all good, that tells him this is a high quality woman and I want to come back. Is that your experience in the world?
It is for sure. A lot of that happens and you feel that as you go through it, that anxiety, and you feel, especially once you have been intimate with them. For me, immediately, I would go to, okay, am I going to hear from them again after? Even though, you were like really good and everything was fine in the moment, right?
Doesn't matter.
Did he get what he wanted and he's going to move on, right? Like that's often the thought. And I think that it's really tricky in this scenario because I feel like sometimes it's playing games, right? Like we can go, okay, let's just back off and match his energy. Okay, I could do that. I could let him chase me. I'm not going to reach out even though I want to. I'm not going to ask him to do this even though I want to. And when is it like that you're playing games instead of just being straight, truthful, and just recognizing the situation, having that open conversation? And is this timeline too short to have a conversation like that?
Yeah.
Is this timeline?
Well, I mean, to me, that she's 6 dates in is already a problem. Like, because I want my clients 3 dates in to be like, what are you looking for? Are you like looking for your person? Is it casual right now? Like, I'm telling my clients there's no sex unless you're both looking for long term and you're both going to be monogamous while you're having sex, which is a very different setup than this ambiguous setup that she's in.
Well, that's a married setup, Lauri.
Yeah. Well, and again, if you're just playing the field and having fun, cool, then you don't need that setup. But if you're getting to the point where you feel like you don't have a million more tries and you're you're tired and you want to find your person. I don't want you getting attached and emotionally connected and making it feel further along than it is by having sex if you are not actually going to be compatible, at least in what you're looking for, if not in all the other ways I want you to be compatible. So So I really want the guy to like you as a friend. I want him to be attracted. I want him to want to have sex with you, but have to wait. I want him to, I want you to be talking about your future, what your individual futures, not your joint futures, your individual futures about what you want to see if they will practically align. Like I just want all that happening so much sooner. So you're not wondering if he's busy or not, because you kind of like understand his life and because busyness can be a thing, but that's not cool. If they're not answering in 7 hours and they used to, and they're not asking you out, that is not a good sign. And my response, if I was coaching her, I would say, don't do anything. Ask me in a week. Right. I would just be like, and not as a game, just like, you take care of you. He's taking care of him. You take care of you. That's not a game. That's just
well, and I think that's fair. The great point here is to state it's not a game by choosing yourself, right? Like you're just saying, I need clarity on this. I need to just step away for a moment, figure out even maybe what I want, let them figure out what they want. And, if they're missing me, I'll know the 6 to 7 hours. Unacceptable.
And by the way, she asked, right? She did ask. And he rejected the question, which is not a great sign. Right?
None of this is a good sign. And also, I want to make note of the good morning texts. I want to ask you, how do you feel about these good morning texts?
As a married woman, my husband, I sleep separately from my husband, which is the best thing that ever happened to me. So I can still, I still have a very real texting relationship with my husband.
So you guys text in the morning. Good
and
morning,
he flirts. Oh my God. Can I tell you such a funny text from this morning?
God,
Let me just read this to you.
Please.
This is hilarious. He's flirting with me in the morning. This is how much he loves me. Okay. So just if you're listening and you're like, what does true love sound like? This is what it sounds like.
This is it.
So we're supposed to go on a run together and at a certain time. I write to him at 7:58. I may be a few minutes late. Sorry. And he wrote back, okay, but I do have a meeting at 9. And I wrote back, my tummy is doing a thing. And he wrote back, mine too. And then I wrote, I can personally admit that I ate too much watermelon. And then he wrote back, but my stomach condition is butterflies and rainbows when I think of you. So maybe it's different.
Oh, Lauri, that is so cute. That's so cute.
Know.
What did you respond to that? Okay. Did you respond or did you just run out
I responded, aw. I responded, aw. And then I was like, please don't come see me because my tummy is doing a thing and I need to be alone. This is why I love having my own bedroom and my own bathroom. But anyway, I think people use texting in so many different ways, Andrea, that I cannot say a blanket statement. Right. Yeah. Like some people love texting. Some people hate texting. Some people go deeper than they ever would in person in texting. Mm-hmm. Some people can't string together a sentence in a text. Right. Like and then some people are using it to keep a connection that's not real. And some people are using it to build a connection. So I can't make a blanket statement about a good morning text. But what were you getting at?
But I will.
Yeah, please.
Okay. My blanket statement is, I do not believe in the good morning text unless, I'll give a caveat, unless it is, there's some context to it, some depth to it, a little bit more.
Like this, right?
Like
Rainbows and
this.
unicorns. Yes.
This is flirty. It's fun, right? Like I love that. I love when a guy comes into that and he's not just saying, good morning, beautiful. Good morning, sexy. You know what I mean?
You think it's lazy?
I think it's lazy. I think it's breadcrumbing. I think you're giving them just enough to keep them hanging on to whatever it is you're doing. And I can say this for certain that I have talked to friends who are like, yeah, but he sends me the good morning text every morning.
That costs him nothing.
Nothing. Thank you. It costs him nothing. And with that, she gets the good morning text and then she gets 6 or 7 hours of no response. I mean, then swap it. I don't want the good morning text if I'm not going to hear from you to 6 to 7 hours, right? Beautiful. So I feel like the good morning text is a really dangerous path to walk down because also when you're doing it consistently and you feel that consistency, the moment it stops, you feel deflated. Something's wrong. right? And you start going, wait a
Brutal.
second, I didn't get the text this morning. What's going on? So I say stay away from that unless you guys are in a rhythm. You're giving some context to it. You're really building like how did you sleep last night? What do you got going on today? I would love to talk later
You want
today.
meaning. Yeah,
That's
you
it.
want meaning and
Yep.
truthtation.
I do. No more breadcrumbing.
Yeah.
So do you want to sum up what you would say to her or
that so many of these moments could be avoided where a woman is 6, 7 dates in and wondering like what happened, like feeling ghosted or being ghosted could be avoided by the simple rule. And this is what I teach my clients, that by date 3, you do have to talk about what you're looking for. And you have to talk about it with the most open mind and heart and attitude. Like, hey, like I like to check in. It's please, no pressure. I'm just curious, where are you at in your dating right now? Like, are you looking for something long term? Are you just kind of having experiences? Are you enjoying dating? What's it like being on the site? Like a bunch of questions that and they will tell you, like if you let them talk, they will tell you, I'm looking for my person. I want to get married again. I don't know if I ever want to get married again. I'm really just looking for companionship right now. I'm really looking for activity partners. I'm just trying to have fun. I don't really know yet. Right? Like that. If they tell you right out, you don't have to guess what a lack of texting means. They told you.
Yes. And believe them, right? If they're telling you they are not wanting a relationship, that they are just looking to have fun, believe them. They're telling you.
But and thank God they did. That's so brave of them.
They did. And that's also an opportunity for you, right? As the person asking the questions, to also be honest with what you're looking for. You don't need to say the same things. This is a great opportunity to say, hey, listen, I am also looking for a relationship. I'm looking to find my person. It could be you. It may not be you. But I'm just letting you know I'm dating intentionally. And that's where I'm headed.
Perfect.
And right away, we could have saved her a couple weeks here.
Totally.
And heartache.
Only she had asked us before she went ahead.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I love it. Great one. Okay. Moving on to dilemma number 2. His ex is always around. Oh, I got some stuff on this already. Okay. Here we go. I've been dating an amazing man for about 5 months. He's kind, emotionally available, affectionate, and honestly treats me better than anyone I've dated since my divorce. The problem isn't him. It's his ex-wife. They've been divorced for almost 8 years. Their kids are adults and live on their own, so they aren't co-parenting anymore. But she still calls him multiple times a week. Sometimes it's to ask for advice. Sometimes it's to tell him about work. Sometimes she'll send him funny memes or random pictures of their old dog. When we're out together, I've seen her name pop up on his phone several times. He always answers because he says, we're just friends now. We went through a lot together. I've never asked him to stop talking to her because I don't want to be the jealous girlfriend. But if I'm honest, every time her name pops up, I feel my stomach drop. Am I being insecure? Is this actually healthy? Or is this one of those red flags that women ignore because everything else seems so good? Okay, this one is juicy. Lauri, are you okay with exes staying friends?
Oh my Lordy Lou. I mean, what's so interesting as a married person, right? I remember having a very rude awakening early into my relationship with my husband. Not early, given it's been 30 something years, but a few years in, realizing that my husband was generous with everybody, not just me. Okay. Right. And I was like, and I had a real tantrum about it because I was like, no, I only be generous with me. Right. I love that trait, but not for anyone else. And I think I had a coach at the time that was kind of like, well, you don't really get to do that. Right. Like if you pick a guy who's generous, he's going to be generous. So the fact that this man cares and is emotionally attentive to his ex, who is the parent of his children, and you, is actually not on its own a problem. Yeah. And 5 months in is about the time you should start being like, I wonder if there's a future here. I think 1 month in, you don't have a right to say who he can be friends with, but 5 months in, you're now, you're getting attached and you're developing something. So my first question to her would be, why did they get divorced? Like, let me hear the story. Because if the story is he cheated on her, or if the story is she's gay, or story, like, I don't know, right? I do not know the story. But the story could be, or she cheated on him. Like, I don't know the story. I need to know the story so I can understand why I should approve of this friendship. Period. Right? Because if I care
Yeah.
about you, I care about your friendships, and I certainly care about the other parent of your children. That's like a really important part of your life. So I do not want
Huge.
to, I don't want her in the shadows. I don't want her hidden. I don't want to not know what's going on. The fact that he picks up in front of me is a sign that he is not ashamed. He's not hiding something. He's not hiding the topics he's talking about. So then
Yes.
my question would be, can you ask him not to pick up while you're together? Would you prefer that? But even better, can she come over for dinner with us? Like, can we start to develop a 3-way relationship? Because if she's a good friend of yours and you care about her enough to maintain a friendship, I'd like to know her as your now like pretty serious girlfriend. That's a pretty significant It's like, have you met the mother yet after 5 months? Have you met the kids after 5 months? If you've met those people, you should meet the ex, and you should have a relationship of your own with the ex. If you really want to feel, if he wants to have it all, right? Like, okay, let's have it all.
Yeah. No, a great answer. Wow. I don't know if I was expecting that way.
I mean, I do encounter exes are probably in the top 3 biggest bugaboos for early dating.
Yeah.
How we deal with our exes. I don't know what your experience is with that.
Well, it's interesting because I am friends with my ex-husband. So I'll give you the context here. Married for 20 years, divorced because we were no longer, or me was no longer feeling that love that I should feel for him. The chemistry wasn't there. We were like best friends. So when it ended, to me, he's the father of my kids. They were younger. They were like 14 and 18-ish at the time. They were still a little bit older. But as of now, I mean, he still hangs out we do like some family stuff together. We'll do, holidays, and he comes. Now he's brought a girlfriend before. I've brought a boyfriend. Usually his girlfriend will have issues with it, not from anything that I'm doing. I'm not being flirty with him. I'm not doing anything like that.
Yeah, but it's
threatening. It's just an insecurity. It's a threatening thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So but for me, it's kind of a non-negotiable. Like, if you're taking me, you got to take my ex-husband. And that might sound a little odd, but he is the one person that I've known the longest. I've known him way longer than anybody I've just started dating. I trust him immensely. He still goes on my emergency contact form. If something happened tragically.
Yeah, so your boyfriend would absolutely, like, you have a boyfriend for a year. Something happens to you. Who's in the hospital room?
Yes,
your kids,
exactly.
their father, and your boyfriend. You want them all to know each other. They should.
Mm-hmm. Now, the only opposite thing of that is that I have many times introduced that scenario and like brought them in together, and everything's fine until there is certain points when my ex-husband has tried to pee on me a little bit. You can say, mark his territory.
Not cool. And maybe that is what the woman is doing in this story. This ex is trying to keep her territory marked.
And I think that's what it is, letting whoever else is new know where my place is in his life, right? Yeah. I can call him anytime I want. I can send him a meme. I can show him pictures of the dog, and he's always going to respond. So I agree with you on saying, can we come to some sort of agreement where maybe you just don't answer that when we're together? It's fine that you guys are friends, and I would love to meet her. I love that idea. And I think he should be open to it. If she's such a great friend, she should be happy to meet whoever is making him happy as well. Right.
Exactly. And it's it's funny because you bring in the skepticism, because I think you're out there in the field. Like, she might be up to something. Like, she might be so innocent. Yeah. Okay. Of course. So you're not imagining it. You're not imagining it that it's like a little uncomfortable, even though of course you want to trust the guy you're seeing.
Yeah. I think there's certain things. I think it's fine that, they keep in touch here and there, but like, when does that co-parenting line end and the emotional dependency line begin? Right? Like, is she just hanging on him because they have this history and she's not yet moved on? Those are the questions, and you need to have that conversation. I was going to ask you, how do you bring it up without sounding jealous? Because you want to sound that. I think you just say, hey, I don't want to sound jealous, but
I mean, I don't think jealousy should be such a taboo topic, right? Like, I mean, we are jealous. We are in competition. I don't think it's, I don't want to sound jealous. I think it's like, I want to support your relationships that are healthy for you. I trust you. I like you. I like spending time with you. I want you to be happy. And my experience when you answer when she calls is fill in the blank, whatever the truth is. My experience is I feel threatened, or I feel insecure, or I feel less than, or I feel ignored, or I feel discounted, or I don't feel then I question, am I as important to you as I think I am? I'm just not sure. Like, and if you say something like that, the man can't be defensive. You're just saying your experience. You're just saying how it feels to you. You're not accusing him. You're not blaming him. You're not dumping on him. He has to respond with, wow, I had no idea. Maybe we should do it this way or that way, or whatever, or how dare you? You're acting crazy. It'll be very interesting to see how he responds to an honest, heartfelt, which is why I also want you to meditate. Like if you're new to dating and finding the one out there in these crazy in this crazy world over 50, you better be meditating and exercising and like doing that self-care so that when you get triggered, you can breathe before you lose your shit. And then really, you will sound like the jealous girlfriend who's too much drama and too high maintenance and I can't please her. So no, thank you. So do your work so you can say, hey,
so you're ready.
I want this for you. I call it a grace and wisdom sandwich, like I get it. I see you, but like, this is the way it feels to me. What do you think? Right? Like it just, I love that. You need to be able to talk about it.
His answer will tell you everything.
Yeah.
Collect the data, right? Yeah. If he freaks out and he's all weird and funny about it, then maybe there is something more there that he's a problem with. Love it. Love it. All right.
We covered all the bases.
Good job. We both did good there. Number 3, last one. He wants forever, but he doesn't want the label. All right. So here we go. Need some perspective. Okay. So she wrote in, hi, ladies. I really need some perspective. I'm 53. I'm widowed and starting to date again about a year ago. 6 months ago, I met an incredible man. We're together almost every weekend. We've met each other's friends. We spend holidays together. We've taken 2 weekend trips. We're exclusive, and neither of us is dating anyone else. She's very clear on what they are. Here's the problem. Whenever I bring up what we're actually doing or where the relationship is headed, he smiles and says, why does everything need to have a label? Can't we just enjoy what we have? So he says he's committed to me, but such a cliche. He says he's committed to me, but he doesn't want the pressure of defining the relationship because his divorce was so painful. I understand that. I really do, but I'm in my 50s now. I don't want to feel like I have years to sit around hoping someone eventually decides I'm worth committing to. Sometimes I think I'm asking for too much. Other times I think I'm accepting too little. What a statement right there.
So good.
So good. Do I keep enjoying what we have and stop worrying about labels? Or is this exactly how women end up wasting years in relationships that never move forward? Oof. These are good.
She's really encapsulating such a common dilemma of midlife where if you want to find lasting, healthy love again for good, who are meeting midlife men who just got out of terrible divorces and are like, why would I trust a woman? Like what? Like why? Just why? Right? And we're meeting and we both want love, but trust is
different levels.
Wounded, like really wounded and unhealed. So I just think that's such a common.
I think so too. And it's really hard. I am one who likes labels. I like titles and labels.
Yeah.
It feels
there's a reason. Then you can find what you want in the pantry.
Yes.
You don't want to put salt when you need sugar. Hello.
Lauri knows about needing labels and spreadsheets and all that stuff. We need to know. And I don't blame her because I think when you're having all of these other things happen, they're meeting friends, they're meeting family, they're exclusive, not dating anybody else, then why not just make someone feel that extra little bit of safety of just saying, yeah, we're boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever
because
that means.
That makes him feel unsafe. Right? Like the thing that would make her feel safe makes him feel unsafe.
So literally. How do you get around that? You come to a common ground
it's hard to, because of course I coach this all day, but I ask a million questions from the person. So I know the context and I don't think there's a cookie cutter answer. But but if you watch episode 36 on Love at Any Age on my podcast, which is only just a few weeks back, actually, I interviewed a woman named Silka Schwarzkopf, and she told the story of the man who's the love of her life, who she's been with now for 15 years, that she met after her divorce and at 50 and the whole story. And they were casual. I mean, they were monogamous, but they weren't living together. They weren't making a visible, public commitment with a label. Okay. And at one point she was like, I think I need to move on. Like there's just was a moment. And I think it's like we all need different amounts of sleep, right? Like there's a moment where you're like, you know what? This doesn't feel right anymore. Like it has been right because we've been in exploratory, but this doesn't feel right to me anymore. I want to take a step back because this is my actual dream. And again, notice how I'm languaging it, right? I'm really languaging it, not like mean, not a threat, not a manipulation, not a game. It's just like, this is how I'm feeling. I want to step back. She got to that point and he was like, okay, I'm ready. Right. You know, like it woke him up, which I think for a certain percentage of people, the idea of I can't just keep having my cake and eating it too. I have to now choose. And again, you can't put pressure on it. You have to mean it. You have to be truly unattached when you say it. Otherwise, it's just a manipulation and they should run.
Yeah.
But then that gives the man the opportunity to just be like, well, do I want to or not? Like, what is my choice? Because now I do need to make the choice or lose this person. Consequences are very clarifying. And then all of a sudden they can choose. And the reason we don't do that is because we don't want to know, right? Because maybe the choice is going to be no more. But you can't mess it up with the one. You can't mess it up with the one. And if that messes it up, then you're better off that it ended sooner. 5 months in, not 10 months in.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like what you said about really knowing, like if you're going to present this to them and say, hey, this is where I'm at, you got to be convicted in where you're at, right? Like you got to really know what it is you want and be willing to walk away.
Right.
That's the hardest part, because if he's going to tell you, hey, yeah, I do still want to date other people, are you okay with that? And that's a question you have to ask yourself. So I love that you said that. And I think that it's a really tricky situation. I feel like I've been down this path before, but I've also been down the path where it's so freeing to have that open and honest conversation. You ask it not knowing what the answer is going to be, and you're just accepting it either way. Because like you said, if they're like, yeah, no, I really want to do something else, they're probably not the one, because the one is going to be the one and be like,
right,
yeah.
No, he's going to want to keep you. And by the way, in this scenario that you mentioned, they are exclusive, right? We are assuming they are not seeing other people, but
she said that, yeah.
At month 7th, or I would say hold out till month 8 if you can, right? Like hold out till month 8, because something happens around month 7 where all the PR agent stuff goes away and you've been through a bunch of seasons together. You've done a lot of things together. There really is like a better ability to, not just based on chemistry, assess compatibility around month 7th and 8th, because people just can't keep up appearances for that much longer. But so I would say hold out to then if you really like the person and they meet your criteria. But to me, a non-negotiable is they pick me, right? If I'm looking for long-term healthy monogamy and they are not picking me, then that's a deal breaker and that's a no. Yep. But if they're saying, I just need time, that I can understand. If you are just out of a divorce or your divorce was awful and you haven't done your healing and you say, I need time to build trust again, I would agree. I would accept that answer if you're doing the work. If you're in therapy or in coaching or reading books or like doing something to actually separate what happened in your past from what's going to happen in your future. If you're not doing that, then you are stringing me along to have someone, but not the one. And then I have to respectfully dismiss myself from that role.
Yes. I completely agree with that. Is that your pivotal point where you would say you don't really know somebody until 7 months in, 8 months in? Is that your...
Yes. But again, if someone's coaching with me, back by date 3, you're going to find out, are you looking for serious long-term commitment? And if the person goes, I don't know, I'm scared, I had a terrible divorce, you're not expecting them to become your long-term committed companion. So I don't know what happened that you're 5 months in and you're not putting a label on it. Like that, to me, that's like, I think you were warned. You just maybe thought you could change it or that time would fix it.
Yeah. How often does it really change? That, like if they're saying at 3 months in, oh, I'm not sure I'm ready for that. And that can go back to, I have been through a lot with my divorce. It's painful. It was only 3 months ago. You have that conversation. Right. Can that change at 6 months? Now all of a sudden he's like,
I do think someone can change from being not ready to being ready, but they have to do the work. I mean, that's literally what I do for a living, is help people get ready. And it's 34 obstacles and it takes however long it takes and you have to do the work. It's not, you don't become ready just by the passage of time.
Yeah. Do you think, just to wind this down, do you think marriage still matters as much after 50 for most people, like based on the clients that you're having with? No, they don't want it anymore?
Statistically, no. Statistically, no. There's still always going to be a group, just like there's always going to be a group that's like, can we talk on the phone? Instead of, text. There's always going to be a group that's like, marriage is the thing, right? Marriage is the goal. Marriage is the prize. Marriage is what makes me feel secure and comfortable. There's always going to be that group. And if you're in that group, find other people in that group because you guys will get along.
Find the one who also wants to get married.
But there's a whole new tier of humans born in the 50s, 60s, and 70s who did that. It didn't go well. And they're like, why would I ever do that again? Or maybe they did it twice and they're like, there's just no need. I don't need it to look good to my community. I don't need it for financial reasons. I don't need it. So why would I do it? And then a subset of that group changes their mind once they fall in love. So
and then you want that little bit of extra security somehow.
Or just to proclaim to the world, like we're a thing.
We're a thing. Do you think there's a big difference between patience and settling? Because we can say be patient.
Is there a
but
difference?
Are you settling?
The difference?
What is the difference? Let me ask that.
Yeah. I mean, I have a really particular lens on that, which is the person doing the work? And this goes for any gender or anywhere you're being patient, with a friendship, with a love relationship, with your children. Like, you can be patient if you see progress, right? As a coach, I'm like, I can wait however long it's going to take you to be ready, but you have to be taking steps and
progressing
earnestly. Putting in the work. It's like such a dumb answer, but we all should you be patient to get the body of your dreams? Yeah, but only if you're actually going to the gym.
You can't sit around and eat bonbons and hope that it just all falls off. Great answer. Oh, I love all of those. Those were 3 really good scenarios and very, very relatable, like you said, because I've experienced all 3 of those. So I know
you can tell me it's true. Yeah.
It's so true. I love your responses. And I think that, it was like a little bit of from both of us. Even as a married person, I think you see very clearly on that how it would be to date. Could you imagine dating again? Would you want to be back?
I could imagine. I often do imagine dating again because I have to put myself in the mindset.
In those shoes,
Yes, I could imagine. It would be nothing like when I dated last time, but I could imagine it. Sure, I could imagine it.
That would be like that.
That would be a great reality TV show to see. How does the dating coach do on the dating?
Yes, the marriage.
Just remind me of it if I ever have to date. Okay.
And
I want to hear below in the comments, y'all. I want to hear if you've ever been in this scenario. What do you think? What did you learn? I want to hear what other scenarios you want us to talk to.
Oh my God.
Get into those comments.
I love this because there isn't always one right answer, right? Like sometimes 2 smart women can look at the exact same situation. It's completely different. And so that's why we do want to hear from you guys. If you have some really great scenarios for us, we love to break them down like this and give you advice as best we can from 2 different perspectives of single and not single. Lauri, where can they find you?
You can find me at Love at Any Age. If you're watching on YouTube, go to Lauri Gerber Coach and laurigerber.com.
Absolutely. She's got some great stuff. You got some quizzes and stuff people can even take, right? To
I have
help
a great
figure out their
quiz.
direction. Love it. Love it. All right, guys. And you can find me on Instagram and TikTok at from.mrs.2.ms. Email me with any of your scenarios, or you can DM. But if you want to email it, from Mrs. to Ms. podcast@gmail.com. That is it for this week. Hopefully we'll be back with some really good scenarios that will help you guys out in the future. So you guys have a good one. Bye for now.